down at the vendor end of the core shack with Kevin Heather, Regulus Resources. I've known Kevin for a long time, John Black even longer. They've got a project in Peru. Complicated land situation, took a long time to put together. Now the geology's come together, so we're just going to take a quick look at the core, some maps, and you're going to tell us what you got.
Okay, well, just ask me anything you want. And free to...
Conceptually, what are you guys looking for here at Antiquary?
Basically what we've got here is that it's a complex mineralizing system, but we think it's quite big.
Let's turn around and look.
And so what we've got is we've got a Cretaceous sedimentary sequence here of limestone that hosts skarn-style mineralization, and those are unconformably overlain by Miocene volcanic rocks, which have high sulfidation mineralization. Historically, the belief has been that the high sulfidation and the skarn mineralization are related to one another, but we, for various geological reasons, believe that they're not related and that there's a time gap. And that's very important because it means that they potentially have different magmatic centers. Why is that important? Because obviously if we have the high sulfidation system, it means there's high arsenic. Arsenic is not a good thing, but if the skarn mineralization is actually related to a different magmatic center, it means that that center could be off of the main area where the high sulfidation is, and therefore we move towards cleaner mineralization.
Gotcha.
And so we effectively have good evidence that this unconformity actually has a paleo-weathering or a paleo-regolith horizon on it, which means that the skarn mineralization's weathered there, which tells you that the skarn mineralization has to be older than the high sulfidation.
So the high sulfidation is a later event that overprints the skarn.
It's a later event, and so we have a spatial association or partial overlap, but not a genetic relationship.
So you got geophysical evidence that'll show me that actually this skarn mineralization may be related to a different center?
Yes, we do. If we just swing around here, let me just jump to it here.
Interesting. This is a lot of anhydrite and sulfide. That's real typical of rich porphyry systems.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
Yeah, and so this is effectively the magnetic map. And what I've highlighted on here, you can see the blue areas where our existing resource area is. And you can see that the drilling's really focused on this part where we have magnetite-rich skarns. The high sulfidation center sits over in this area here. And you can see there's a beautiful donut-featured mag that goes around and wraps around a central mag low. And so we think that this is really a central porphyry system with a magnetite skarn developed around the outside of it. We've only tested, if this concept is correct, we've only tested 20% of the potential of this thing, and we have now control of a large proportion of those anomalies, and we're hoping to be able to drill those late this year or possibly early next year.
So what sort of depth are we looking at?
This is probably near surface.
Oh, really?
Not very.
You're thinking open pit?
Yes, we're thinking open pit. Yeah, yeah. And because one of the things that happens here, and to add to the intrigue here, is that we get some really young, late breccia deposits that come up, units that come up, and in these breccias, you can see here, they're full of sulfide clasts. Okay. And a lot of these sulfide clasts are part of the high sulfidation system that have been ripped up, but we also see clasts of quartzite, we see clasts of skarn, and more importantly, and I think this is the real key, is we've now found in several locations fragments of porphyry with quartz stockwork veining with chalcopyrite bornite quartz with secondary biotite alteration, which we have not seen in situ. We're just seeing these as fragments.
Gotcha.
Okay? And so the idea here is that now with some of our deeper drilling, which you noted here, is that we're starting to see a lot of anhydrite, a lot of green illite, chlorite type alteration, lots of really good looking chalcopyrite. No indications here of any kind of high sulfidation or arsenic rich material. As you pointed out, we're seeing a lot of anhydrite.
Yeah.
Anhydrite with a lot of heavy sulfide. Anhydrite is a real key in a lot of big porphyry systems because it's telling you you've got an oxidized magma with an overabundance of sulfur. And a lot of anhydrite indicates that you're in a really productive system.
Okay.
The other final one that we've seen also milled breccias that are healed by chalcopyrite. Okay. And you can see here that the grades are quite nice, almost a gram of gold, close to 3 or 4% copper, and virtually no arsenic. And we're also seeing in some of the quartzites, so quartzites are notoriously bad host rocks, but you can see they're very veining with very heavy sulfides, dominantly pyrite here, and lots of moly with quartz. Again, indicative that we're in the outer shell of a porphyry system. So we're quite excited that we're on to something that I think that's
hence the jacket.
World class. No, that's just because I'm a loud guy, right? We've known each other for a long time. So.
All right. So real quick, how much money have you got now?
We've got 4.6 million. Which is enough to get us through the current drill program. We've budgeted for 15 to 18,000 meters, of which we've completed 7. We currently have 3 rigs on the property. It's the rainy season in Peru, so but at the end of the rainy season, i.e. the end of April, we'll ramp up probably to 5 rigs, and we'll probably get our 15 to 18,000 meters done by mid-year, with the timeline of trying to get out a updated, revised resource by sometime before the end of the year.
And what's your market cap?
Right now we're at about 100, we vary, but about 130 to 140 million dollars.
Okay, cool.
And of course, that because of our previous company and the success we had, that we're trying to basically make lightning strike twice here, and I think we're well on our way to doing that. So.
All right. Cool. Thanks, Kevin. All right.
Going to the next victim?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. So that was pretty interesting. My big concern with this project has been the high sulfidation system, which is full of arsenic, pyrite, acid drainage problems, and that would fall into an open pit if they could get an open pit on it. But now that they seem to have 2 separate centers, what we're looking for to see is if the skarn, if they can actually find that skarn at depth, and if so, what kind of grade is it? If that happens, this changes the whole picture on this. My sense is they're going to have to raise money before they get to the end, or right at the end of the drill program. So these holes into where the skarn they think it is, if that turns out good, we're in good shape. If that doesn't work, we got trouble. So what I'm going to be doing is just watching to see if their concept actually works.